Hey, welcome back to my channel, PTL Empowerment, where you're encouraged to produce, transform, and lead. I am Lisa Martin, and I want to encourage you to like this video, subscribe, and comment if you are inspired by it. Today, I've come to tell you it's probably there to teach you something. Learn from it and appreciate it. 2 Corinthians 12, verse 7 to 10, it says, "At least I should be exalted above measure by the abundance of the revelation. A thorn in the flesh was given to me, a messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I be exalted above measure. Concerning this thing, I pleaded. With the Lord 3 times that it might depart from me. And he said to me, My grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, most gladly, I will rather boast in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, in approaches, in needs, in persecutions, in distresses, for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then am I strong. And I've come to say to you, if you're weak, then the strength of God is being made perfect in your weakness. Maybe your question should be, instead of why is this happening to me, maybe you need to change it to, what is it you're trying to learn me? What is it you're trying to teach me? What is it you're trying to show me? What is it you're trying to guide me to? What is it you're trying to get me to understand? What is it you're trying to get me to change? What is it you're trying to get me to turn around to? That may be the questions that you're asking. You see, Paul, he had a thorn in his flesh, and he cried out to God 3 times. So it meant that it was a disturbance to him. And he cried out and he cried out and he cried out. Probably like some of you today. You're crying out and you're asking God, God, when are you going to change my circumstance? God, when is this thing going to stop? God, when am I going to get my breakthrough? When am I going to begin to feel like I'm fulfilling purpose? And you're correct to be asking those questions. But if you're not getting an answer to those questions, maybe you're asking the wrong questions. We don't just go through things because they're there and we can go through. We don't just have pain because we can have pain. We don't have heartaches because we can have heartaches. We just don't have abandonment issues because we can have them. We just don't have days when it appears like nothing good is happening because we can have those days that nothing are happening. But you must understand and realize that as a child of God, that every possible thing that is occurring in your life right now, there is a reason for its occurrence. And maybe it may be you caused it by some kind of disobedience. But even in that, God has a way of turning it around for you. So don't allow the spirit of condemnation to grip you, to cause you to sink. I've had many times, many a times that I was disobedient. And I did things that I know were not pleasing in the sight of God because I allowed my emotions and I allowed my fears and my doubts to dictate my actions. And because of that, it took me on a path that was not in right standing with the Lord. But what I can tell you, it is those moments that you feel like you failed. It is those moments that you feel the weakest. It is those moments that you feel like a nobody. It is those moments that you feel like throwing in the towel because you're saying to yourself, it isn't worth it because the more I'm doing, it seems the less results I am getting. The more I'm giving, the less things are happening. The more I'm being faithful, the less it seems like doors are opening. But once we change our perspective on things and we're not doing things to receive, but we're doing it unto the honor and the glory of God, and we come to the place recognizing that if the thorn in our flesh is not going away, and we've prayed and we've fasted and we've done every possible thing that we know within ourselves that we can do, then it is there for a reason. And God has a time associated with it before He intervened and caused you to see the reason you had to go through. There were days in my life where it seemed like all hell had broken loose. There were moments in my marriage where it felt like this marriage had come to the end. There was no way back. Things were so dire. We felt like it was just time to go our own separate ways. But when we decided, not our will, Lord, your will, because you're allowing it, because your grace is sufficient. You're allowing it because you are doing an inner work inside of me that needs to be done for where you're taking me. You're allowing it because you are stretching me and growing me and causing me to expand, come into the increase in what you have for me. And I cannot possibly come into that place unless I go through the valley of the shadow of death. You are allowing it because you love me. And that may be difficult to understand at this time. God is allowing my bank account to be empty because He's loving me. Yes, because may not have been a good steward with your finances. So now He needs to teach you how to handle those finances according to kingdom principles. Ouch! I'll say ouch, because that's one that I can definitely attest to. You don't just go through because God wants to show you that He's God. Beloved, I'm telling you, if you would but hold on, if you would but trust God, if you would but allow His grace to be sufficient, even in this difficult time, difficult period of your life, you will see the manifestation of His glory, of His power in your life. He is doing something amazing within you. What am I to learn from this? What am I to do from this? What changes should I take from this? What insight can I gain from this? What revelation are you sharing to me from this? From this torn, from this uncomfortable situation, from this pain, from this loss, from this abandonment, from this shame, from this failure, from this letdown, from this separation. What is it? Am I to learn from this? Surrender. Surrender and ask Him the right questions, and you will certainly get the right answers. And you will certainly be given the grace to get through. Because after Paul realized, no matter what I do, this thing not changing, he was able to cope with it. So I pray that God would give you the grace that you need to cope with whatever it is you're going through at this time, so that you can receive your great reward, so that you can receive your blessing, so that you can receive your maturity, so that you can receive your growth, so that you can receive all that He is wanting for you to receive because of your thorn in your flesh. You're not gonna die because His grace is sufficient. So rise up and gird yourself. The armor is there for you to use. He's given unto you the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, your lungs girded with truth, your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace, the sword of the Spirit, and the shield of faith. And then He comes and He undergirds you so that you will be able to stand. Stand your ground, my brother. Stand your ground, my sister. All isn't lost. It's just a thorn. And when the purpose of that thorn has been served, you will come through like a shining light, illuminating all those who are looking on, even those who thought that you would not have made it. You would have proven to them that your God stands with you, and He will not leave you, and He will not forsake you. Be strong. Be courageous. There are more for you than there are against you. God bless you. Love you. Bye.